Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe Mode, and we are here on Smackdown on the path to Survivor Series. And talking about Survivor Series, we are kicking things off today with a Smackdown Survivor Series qualifying match for the women's team. Toni Storm looking to qualify into that Smackdown Survivor Series team to join Asuka and Kairi Sane, who already made it to the team last week on Smackdown. But before we get started, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Let me know which team you think is going to win at Survivor Series. Will it be Team Smackdown or Team Raw on the women's side? Of course, for Team Raw, we have Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. And Smackdown so far, we have Asuka, Kairi Sane, and we will find out the other two competitors during this edition of Smackdown. But thank you so much for all of that. It greatly helps the growth of the channel and I really appreciate it. But let's get to the action going on. Toni Storm going up against Lacey Evans here tonight in the main event, in the opening contest, I should say. Toni Storm, of course, a former SmackDown Women's Champion, losing the championship to our current SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. And Lacey Evans, someone who's trying to find her place here on SmackDown. Shouldn't have too many opportunities, but if she could pick up a big victory over Toni Storm here tonight and get herself into the Survivor Series team, then you got to think that's probably going to be getting her up there. She's going to be getting closer to getting a future SmackDown Women's Championship opportunity, or potentially she could get a tag team, go and team up, and go and take on the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championships, but they may as well be at the moment. Of course, Dakota and Nia Jax holding on to those championships since they were brought into Universe Mode. But let's get back to this match at hand. Toni Storm really taking it to Lacey Evans. I feel like maybe something's a little bit, I think Toni Storm's trying to prove something here. It's a little bit more aggressive than we're used to seeing Toni Storm. Just really taking it to Lacey Evans. Not really holding back in the slightest. You've got to think this is maybe because of the fact that Toni still not too happy that she lost her championship back at Clash of Champions, losing to Sasha Banks. I don't think Toni Storm is too happy about that. I would love to still have that championship around her waist after not holding on to it for too long. Of course, the Survivor Series, Sasha Banks will be taking on the Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss, but Toni Storm, dropping her over the knee. Is that enough to put away Lacey Evans right now? Will Toni Storm be going to Survivor Series 2? Not just yet. Lacey Evans kicking out Lacey, not giving up this early in the match. Still got some fight in her. This has been a very... Wait a second. Storm Zero to Lacey Evans. An extremely quick contest maybe. Oh my goodness. Toni Storm dominating Lacey Evans, winning within 2 minutes. While Toni Storm is joining the Survivor Series team, joining up with Kairi Sane and Asuka, and we will find out the other competitor in the team later in this episode of SmackDown. But my goodness, what a dominant victory there from Toni Storm. Destroying Lacey Evans there so easily and so quickly. Very, very impressive stuff there from Toni Storm, the former SmackDown Women's Champion. Got to think this is an interesting sign for SmackDown. So far we have 2 former women's champions. Well, I say 2, we have the only 2 former SmackDown Women's Champions on the team. We move on now to a tag team match, and Ricochet and Ali, they chose this match specifically because they're facing the Club, Gallows and Anderson at Survivor Series. They wanted to face a big team, a bigger team than they're used to fighting, a team that's going to outsize them, just like Gallows is going to a Survivor Series. Gallows, so much bigger than Ricochet and Ali. And Carl Anderson, he may not be like as tall, but he's still like a big guy. He's still going to bring the strength, and going against Otis and Tucker here tonight, Heavy Machinery, is definitely a good way to warm up for Survivor Series for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Ali and Ricochet. And you've got to think they're going in at a disadvantage into that match. It's been very interesting to see how that one works out. Ricochet and Ali, they've really become a well-oiled unit over the past few months. Ever since becoming a team just before SummerSlam, they've managed to do very well together. But Otis, he managed to get off to a good start in this match, trying to take down Ricochet, the much smaller And he was doing it quite well, but Ali getting in the sneaky little tag there. and they tried to take it back to Otis. And you look at this, Ali using Otis' own weight against him to powerbomb him down onto the floor like that. And Ali was looking to go for that rolling cutter, but Otis managed to get the tag to Tucker. Tucker slapping down Ali out of the air and then throwing Ricochet around like he was nothing. Very impressive indeed. The strength of Tucker and Otis, much outsizing Ricochet and Ali. The same thing they're going to face at Survivor Series against the Club. Tucker looked like he had it won. Well, had a chance of getting it won at least, but Ricochet pulling himself back into it, using the ropes to then be able to get up for the Hurricane Rana to take Tucker down to the mat and then use this to take advantage and hit the shooting star press from the top rope. Was this enough to put away Tucker? 1, 2, not even a 2 count. Tucker kicking out, but it all came down to this. They eventually got the 630 onto Otis. And Ricochet knowing he has to get rid of Tucker, something that they have had to learn as a tag team. Remembering that there is another man in the corner. Ricochet tagging into Ali. Otis still not moving, and Ali going up to finish the combination to hit the 054. And that was all she wrote for Heavy Machinery. Ricochet and Ali proving that perhaps they do stand a chance against the Club. But Ricochet celebrating after the match with Ali. But we happen to have a visitor from Monday Night Raw, the Club, and AJ Styles coming out to clap Ricochet and Ali, watching the match from the backstage area. The challenge is set and it's going to be an interesting match indeed. Now we move on. Braun Strowman out here. Of course, we all know what Braun has been up to. He's a wild card, is Braun Strowman. He just does whatever he wants, this man. Back for Clash of Champions, won the Universal Championship match, and he attacked everyone until he got what he wanted, including putting our general manager Shane McMahon through a car windshield. And of course, this all led to a tag team match at Hell in a Cell. Braun Strowman teaming up with Johnny Gargano against Goldberg, who was looking for revenge for Shane after what happened, and Keith Lee. Braun and Johnny together win, and Braun, he doesn't care about a tag partner. He attacked Johnny Gargano after the match. And well, apparently Braun has no interest in being a part of Survivor Series either. Braun just out here taking on Mike Kanellis here tonight, the debuting Mike Kanellis here on SmackDown. It'd be a big victory if he could pull it off against Braun Strowman, but I don't really, I don't like his chances. But wait a second, our general manager Shane McMahon, I know he was supposed to be out here tonight talking about Survivor Series, but Shane is apparently coming out to watch this match, coming out to watch Braun Strowman taking on Mike Kanellis. Interesting. What on earth is Shane McMahon thinking? This is very interesting indeed. Of course, Braun pushed Shane McMahon through a car windshield, and this is the first time Shane has been back on SmackDown on screen. Since then, he's been backstage for a little bit, but he has stayed away from being on camera ever since then. And Shane watching this match from the ringside area, and Braun Strowman, of course, getting off to a big start. They're taking down Mike Kanellis and stepping over him straight away. You can't deny, no matter what you think of Braun Strowman, he has been on a roll as of late. But wait a second, Maria Kanellis trying to distract Braun Strowman, and Mike, yeah, not being able to take advantage of that, being pushed straight back down to the mat by Braun Strowman. And now Braun running into the corner, slamming into Mike Kanellis, the much smaller man compared to Strowman. He really has become a monster in recent months. You look back at the beginning of Universe Mode and he got off to a very bad start. Chad Gable made Braun Strowman look like a joke for a while. He really did. It was not a good position for Braun Strowman to be in, but he's managed to put that behind him. He's managed to change his ways here on SmackDown, and ever since then, ever since he's got into this new focus that he has been dominant. And look at that strength of Strowman, just to be able to hold Kanellis like that, just holding him upside down for such a long amount of time. It is very impressive. But you got to think, Shane McMahon is out here, our general manager, watching this match. Why on earth is Shane out here watching this? Surely he's got better things to do than be out here watching this match. He could watch it from backstage if he wanted to. He didn't need to come out and watch this. He could have watched it from gorilla position. Wait a second though, Braun getting him up on the shoulder. You know what this is? The big slam down to the mat from the shoulder. That distance that you have to travel. Maria trying to distract again, but Braun, he doesn't care. He is not paying attention. The running power slam to Mike Kanellis, but Mike too close to the ropes, getting his foot under the ropes. Otherwise, that would have been it for Kanellis there. Kanellis tried to get a kick in. He blocked a punch, but Braun catching the leg, taking down Kanellis once again. And now Braun again, that big punch to the side of the head. Oh my goodness. If you look back at it themselves, very impressive that Braun Strowman was able to beat Goldberg like that. It was a very impressive victory for him. Goldberg and Keith Lee, both those guys such big competitors. It's not just Braun coming out here taking on guys who are lesser in stature, which unfortunately he does do quite a bit, like Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. They really felt it. He beat them in one-on-one matches, and he beat them in a handicap match. It wasn't particularly a good time for Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins here in those weeks. But you can't deny, Braun has been able to go against people who are the same size as him. He's been able to dominate them as well. He doesn't care who's in his way. He just goes for it. He will just take anyone down. That is being his thing, and he has his sights clearly on that Universal Championship. And if it wasn't for Goldberg at Clash of Champions, well, you gotta think maybe Braun might have won that match. He might have won that Fatal 4-Way. He could already be our Universal Champion, but I'm sure he's not looking very far away. He's keeping his eyes firmly on that gold hold currently by Tommaso Ciampa. We're saying getting him up in that cross chokehold, looking to tap out Mike Kanellis, forcing him to go to sleep. Kanellis holding on for dear life, but there is nowhere to hide. There is nowhere to run. He is trapped up there, and he is forced to tap. He gives up. Look at him. He is lifeless right there. Lifeless Mike Kanellis. And Braun Strowman picks up another victory here tonight. The Shane McMahon at ringside watching on very closely right now. It's very interesting, this. I have to see what is going on with it, but look back at this action. Braun, a dominating force, completely wrecking Mike Kanellis. And it was just that rope break. If it wasn't for the rope break, that match would have been over a lot sooner for Braun. But once again, Shane McMahon is requesting a microphone. He is going over to our commentary booth at the moment. He is requesting a microphone for both himself and Braun Strowman. Shane McMahon, he's getting in the ring to talk to Braun. What? What's Shane got to say? Braun, before you do anything, I need you to listen to me. You put me in hospital after putting me through a car windshield, and I cannot forgive you for that. Your methods to get yourself a championship match are just dangerous for myself and the rest of the Smackdown roster. But Braun, I need you. Smackdown needs you to help us beat Raw. I will not let that self-obsessed Batista be victorious. For us to win, we need the best the Smackdown has to offer. And as much as it pains me to say, that includes you, Braun. So tell me what you want to make that happen. Shane, you know I don't care about Smackdown, or about you, or anyone else in that locker room, but I agree. That Batista is a real piece of work. I will do this for you, but you got to give me a one-on-one match for that Universal Championship at TLC. And forget about any punishment you were thinking about giving me for attacking you. Do we have a deal, Shane? Fine, Braun. It's done. At TLC, you will have a Universal Championship match against Tommaso Ciampa, and I will move on from what you did before. But next week on SmackDown, you will team with me in the main event, and if you decide to attack me, or cheat, or walk out on the match, or at Survivor Series, then you will lose your championship match against Ciampa. I'll see you next week, Braun. Wow, next week in our main event, Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon teaming up. That is not something I was expecting to say tonight. In the final episode for Survivor Series, Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon teaming up in our main event. Wow, indeed. And, of course, Braun Strowman going to be on Team Smackdown at Survivor Series. That means we now know 3 out of 4 on both teams. But, talking about that, this is our final Women's Survivor Series qualifying match. Bayley taking on Dana Brooke. Of course, Bayley best friends with our SmackDown Women's Champion at the moment, Sasha Banks. And it could have been Bayley in that position. Bayley had the opportunity to potentially be that person that dethroned Toni Storm, but Bayley, she couldn't do it. She couldn't be her own, she couldn't be her friend. She couldn't put the friendship behind her. It's been a real issue for her, but Bayley's very talented. She just struggles when she's in there with someone that she cares about. She can't put away that friendship that she has. But Dana Brooke, this would be a huge victory for Dana if she could manage to put away Bayley. And she got off to a very good start in this match, reversing Bayley, going from the top rope for a senton, and then getting a foot in the face of Bayley using some of that athleticism. And Dana kept Bayley down at the beginning of this match, kept on working on her. Of course, having Mandy Rose at ringside definitely helped as well. Dana and Mandy formed a tag team in recent weeks. And Dana almost had it won here, going for the big roll-up, stretching all the way through, bridging over, but Bayley managed to kick out of that one. And it all came down to this, the Bayley to belly to Dana Brooke in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3, and Bayley is moving forward to Survivor Series, joining up with Toni Storm, Kairi Sane and Asuka to go against Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair. It's going to be an interesting match indeed, and make sure to leave down in the comment which women's team you think is going to win at Survivor Series. It is going to be a good old match. What a strong team we have here on SmackDown. Wrestling backstage, Randy Orton attacking Shane McMahon in the backstage area, invading SmackDown. Randy sending a message from Batista to Shane McMahon, RKOing, and of course Shane is supposed to be facing Batista at Survivor Series, and Randy Orton sending the first blow to the general manager of SmackDown, taking him out after his promo earlier in the night. Batista, what a brutal man, sending Randy Orton over here like that, attacking. Let's be honest, Shane ain't no spring chicken. He ain't no spring chicken in the slightest. Shouldn't be getting attacked backstage. He's still dealing with the injuries from when Braun attacked him. Oh my goodness, well, let's see whether Shane is still able to compete in that main event next week, but I'm pretty sure it should be fine. An RKO is serious, but it shouldn't keep him out of action for that entire week. He should be able to make it to the tag team next week. But in our main event here tonight, we have our final Survivor Series qualifying match, but also a very personal match, this one. Cesaro has been having issues after issue with the Undisputed Era. He was by himself for a while. In the Undisputed Era, they beat him week in, week out. He could not manage to get away from them. He tried his best. He was trying to be able to get a victory over them, and he just couldn't do it. Adam Cole has pinned Cesaro in the middle of the ring before. Kyle O'Reilly also pinned Cesaro in the middle of the ring. And the beatdowns that he took from the Undisputed Era were nasty stuff indeed. But Gable and Drew Gulak, the Gable Academy, they offered Cesaro a chance. They came up to him and said, look, we're going to have your back. You come and join the Gable Academy, Cesaro. We will have your back. We will support you against the Undisputed Era. And well, it appears Cesaro has taken that on board and he has joined up with the Gable Academy. So tonight at ringside, we have the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, but we also have the Gable Academy out here to keep things balanced, to try and make sure that the Undisputed Era aren't going to get involved in this match like Bobby Fish just did, but luckily only throwing Cesaro back into the ring. Yes, hopefully this will even the odds for Cesaro and Cole. Finally prove who actually is the better man between these two. You got to think somewhere down the line we're probably going to be having a big 3-on-3 not Survivor Series match. I apologise. Survivor Series is in the brain. A 3-on-3 match at some point down the line to prove which is the better of these two teams. You'd have to think, but we'll have to see if that one comes around. But I have some special news that I can give you right now. Post Survivor Series, we're going to have our first ever tag team tournament, the annual tag team tourney. The first one ever will be starting after Survivor Series. It will be 8 teams from both Raw and SmackDown And they will compete in the Elimination Tournament, the Raw side and the Smackdown side, leading up to a final match at Survivor Series where it will be the winning Raw team versus the winning Smackdown team. Whoever wins that match will get a future Tag Team Championship opportunity. Can't confirm to any of the teams yet, but I've got a feeling there's a chance that these teams might be in there. The Gable Academy, Undisputed Era, I really wouldn't be surprised to see them in that tournament. Maybe we're looking at one of the winners right now, who knows. But back to the action at hand, Cesaro to get in that huge uppercut to Adam Cole, but Cole now trying to fight his way back into this, getting the big boot to the head of Cesaro, and now pulling down Cesaro with a neck breaker, taking him down to the mat. Cole not wanting to ease up on Cesaro right now, and another big super kick to the face. My goodness, these two very different styles in the ring. Cesaro, so much strength. He is just known for being able to do this ridiculous stuff, lifting people double his size over his head and just holding them there. He's a crazy man, and the way he flies with those uppercuts. Here we go, European uppercut, flying at Adam Cole. Like the idea you can just throw someone up in the air, just chuck them out of nowhere. That's just ridiculous. And then catching him with an uppercut coming down. Where's gravity doing all the work? It is just ridiculous. But Cole, he's very sneaky. He's a sneaky little boy. But you also cannot get away from the fact that he has so much technique and so much power behind his kicks. He can catch you off guard and he will take you. Like, he can go from 0 to 60 in like nothing. 1 second he'll be like down on the mat and out, and the next second he'll be flying around the ring, taking you down, reversing every move you have, and then suddenly you've got a last shot to the back of the head. And that's it. And that's what Adam Cole can be like. It's a shame that he feels the need to cheat so much, to be honest. If he didn't cheat so much and use the Undisputed Era, then perhaps he'd be further than he actually is, because it's not really worked out that well for him. He's had some big victories, but he's never been able to get himself in properly into that Universal Championship picture. He's had one match, he was involved in a fatal 4-way Clash of Champions for that Universal Championship, but he's never really been in the picture for a one-on-one match for it. He's never been in the picture for the Intercontinental Championship either. Probably a championship I could see him holding first before going to that Universal Championship. I would love to see Adam Cole going up against Seth Rollins. Wouldn't you love to go and see Cole? Oh my goodness, Cole taking another big super kick. Uppercut to the face from Cesaro. But wouldn't you love to see Cole versus Rollins, the Undisputed Era versus the Church of Rollins? That would be an interesting feud indeed, that one. Cesaro kicking Cole down to the mat. But also Cesaro, he's been on a roll recently, of course taking a bit of a halt when he's come up against the Undisputed Era. And wait a second, getting him into that sharpshooter. Is this going to be enough? Is Adam Cole going to be forced to tap out right now? Cesaro trying his hardest to make Adam Cole tap out in the middle of the ring. Adam Cole not close enough to the ropes. Is he going to be forced to tap? Can he get out of this sharpshooter, or is this all she wrote for the leader of the Undisputed Era? Wait a second, Cole rolling through, kicking Cesaro off, getting out of that sharpshooter, and now trying to take advantage of Cesaro, grabbing the leg, big uppercut from Cesaro. Now Cesaro getting him back up to his feet, and Cesaro trying to go for it again, I think, but Cole reversing, getting Cesaro into the corner. Wait a second, Cesaro up ahead. Oh my goodness, lifting Cole, but Cole dropping it down into a DDT, taking Cesaro down, and this could be the opportunity that Cole needed in this one to get himself back in control of this match. But as I was saying about Cesaro a minute ago, he has been on the up and up here on SmackDown, of course coming up against a roadblock in the form of the Undisputed Era, but you've got to think he is definitely a future Intercontinental Champion, or a future maybe even Universal Champion. I think the sky's the limit for Cesaro, but he does need to be able to move forward from the Undisputed Era. Close roll up there for Cesaro. He needs to be able to get the big victory and just move on from this. Also, Survivor Series, very interesting. Both these men will be very interesting on the team. Kind of adds a different dynamic. I was saying Cesaro there, pulling Cole down, looking to tap him out, looking to tap him with a crossface there. He's got the arm caught, but Adam Cole trying to reach, rolling Cesaro through, getting out of the submission, breaking the hold, Cesaro trying to throw in some punches. Cole trying to get the kick in, but Cesaro got the punches to the midsection of Cole. And now, belly-to-belly suplex, taking Cole overhead. But Cesaro feeling tired now, feeling like he is running out of energy in this match. It has been going quite a bit. Cesaro throwing Cole into the corner. The other thing, Cesaro maybe trying to work out what he can do to put away Cole. Cole already escaped from that sharpshooter of Cesaro. Wait a second, what is Cesaro thinking here? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous! And now calling out onto his feet, calling Cole to his feet. Oh my goodness! Cole completely disoriented into another huge uppercut from Cesaro. And again, getting him up to his feet, not having enough yet. And he's locking it in again. Is Adam Cole going to tap? Is he going to tap in the middle of the ring? The Undisputed Era not able to get involved because Gable Academy is on the other side. Can he tap out? Can he make him tap, or will he hold on? Adam Cole tapped. Adam Cole taps Cesaro. Finally getting his victory over the Undisputed Era, over Adam Cole. And Cesaro is moving forward to Survivor Series, and we now know the full team for Survivor Series. Well, of course, unless Braun does something stupid. But we do know hypothetically what it is going to be. Cesaro will be joining up with Braun Strowman, The Miz, and EC3 to represent SmackDown at Survivor Series, going up against Finn Balor, Sheamus, Andrade, and Kevin Owens. What a match that is going to be. But thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.